What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind, and let's start it off like this. A lot of you might not be aware of the fact that I've been around since the early days of the Fandom Menace. Of course, got the t-shirt to prove it, and probably longer than a lot of the channels that you watch that draw in larger audiences and have more subs. And that's okay. All right. Throughout the years, you've seen many people take off. Many people have taken their YouTube presence into business ventures, and they're doing great things, building empires and everything. I'm just running my mouth the same as I have always been all of these years. But I bring that up because I remember very clearly, okay, one of the concepts, one of the things we used to say in the early days all the time is it's okay if you like what you like. What we were doing back then was talking about elements of the movies and TV shows that we didn't like, because we realized that those movies and TV shows were being weaponized against the very audience that they were supposed to be intended for as soon as we critiqued it. You know, this was a relatively new thing. It used to be that you could like or dislike something and it fell into the definition of criticism. That's the reason why you have Siskel and Ebert and things like that. You know what I mean? Criticism is supposed to be a good thing. Criticism can be constructive. But for some reason, in these recent years, criticism has turned into toxicity from fans. So the Fandom Menace was born as a pushback to those things. But it was never, ever an indictment on the people who actually did like those things. It never should have been anyway. Now, of course, the Fandom Menace was not an organization or a group with leadership or anything like that. So you couldn't control certain people who got into it and waved the flag and did attack other people, all right, which was not right. But for the most part, it was an understanding that you can like what you're supposed to like, all right. But there were some people who decided that they wanted to focus mainly on the so-called larger channels, the so-called whiter channels. And the reason why I bring that up is because part of the attack on the fans was the insistence on categorizing us as far right white guys in their mother's basement and everything like that, to the exclusion and the ignoring of creators such as myself. So it was no wonder when you saw other channels taking off and, you know, getting subs out the ass and everything. And then there were other channels that kind of like sputtered in their growth and everything, because those were the ones that got more press, that got more infamy, you know, and everything. So that's the reason why that happened. But that core belief that you can like what you want to like went hand in hand with you don't have to like what you don't like. That was the point. That was the freedom of being part of a fandom. You can express what you like, and usually nobody would say anything. And you could express what you don't like, which of course made you toxic, alt-right, racist, sexist, and ignored if you were black or anything other than white, you know? So that's the way it's always been. But I remember those days, and I remember that concept that you're allowed to like what you like, all right? So when I look at the reception, say, of Picard, specifically season 3, it's interesting to me because I think that a lot of people are forgetting that people are allowed to like what they want to like. All right. And this is kind of a tightrope for me to walk here because I understand. All right. I could not watch Star Trek Discovery. I couldn't watch anything that they came out with. Actually, you know, this so-called new Kurtzman Trek, Picard seasons 1 and 2. I mean, all of it was just trash to me. All right. So I chose not to watch it. Season 3 kind of got my curiosity because I saw that they were bringing back pretty much all of the original cast members of The Next Generation. All right. So I said, well, let me go on and take a look at this thing. You know what I mean? The first 2 episodes of season 3, I wasn't impressed because it seems like there were a lot of parallels to Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, that they were borrowing from very, very generously. So I didn't give them any respect for that. But something wonderful happened with episode 3 of season 3. I started to see something different. It started to feel different. It felt exciting. It felt fresh. The performances were amazing. And even though Patrick Stewart is something like 80 something years old, I believe, I mean, he's getting up there and he's old and he's frail. But when that man gets going with his acting, something like really beautiful happens in his eyes, right? And I see that with the others as well. Once they get into this zone, you can see youth in them. You can see exuberance and excitement in them. And the script kept up with them. The direction, the writing, the special effects, everything was on point. Everything that I looked to Star Trek for was amazing, and it was there. You know what I mean? So, it would be hypocritical of me to deny such a thing. You know? So even though it seemed very abrupt, whereas I was saying episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 didn't do it for me, then as soon as I saw episode 3, I was like, whoa, I'm liking this. And then by episode 4, it was like, okay, they're onto something here. I'm loving what they're doing, you know? So there it was, you know, but I was hearing from others, right? Because you see them, you know, we're all part of this, this landscape here. I was seeing from others that they refused to watch it, which is, of course, their prerogative. Okay, that's actually, like I said, I understand. It wasn't that long ago when Solo was coming out, and I was saying that even if Solo were good, Disney had to pay for the way they broke Star Wars. They were not allowed to be successful. So I understand that concept. I understand the concept that even if Picard is good or season 3 is good, we already know seasons 1 and 2 were garbage. All right, just straight dog shit, right? But even if season 3 were to be good, for a lot of people, it's not enough for what Alex Kurtzman has done to Star Trek. And I totally get that. Okay. The thing about it is that for some people, it's enough to enjoy the ride. For some people, we love Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Gates McFadden, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Ensign Rowe came back. You know what I mean? We love these characters more than we hate Alex Kurtzman. So to see them actually get the treatment that they were supposed to get in the movies but did not, because let's face it, the movies were underwhelming for the next generation, to see them get this now and to see them enjoying it, you know, at the top of their game with writing that really challenges and develops these characters, that's enough to join them, because we're probably not going to come this way again with this group of actors, you know. So to see them doing this and really effectively bringing in new characters like Captain Shaw is amazing. You know, the guy who's playing Picard's son, he grows on you, but he did grow on me. And also the girl who's playing LaForge's daughter, you know, there's a lot to like here. They don't overshadow the original characters. They don't tear down the original characters. They strengthen them. They develop them. They take them to places where I wouldn't have expected them to go, but it works because it plays on their history. But when they reference something that happened 30 years ago, you feel the honesty of that because you actually saw it. It's almost like what they did with Cobra Kai. You know, we know that there's a history there because we saw it. So when they play off of it, it plays to great effect. You know what I mean? So there is a lot to like here. Now, if you choose not to watch it because, you know, you're mad at Kurtzman and, you know, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth what they've done with Star Trek up until now, that's totally acceptable. It is. But saying that this is just not good and everything, I don't know. You know, even that is a matter of opinion. So if that's how you feel, you know, but you're not watching it, so how would you know how good it is? You know what I mean? But if you have watched it, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do anything for you. Well, that's understandable too. It is what it is, man. This is what we've been fighting for. It's almost like with Star Wars. If all of a sudden they started doing amazing Star Wars, which is impossible at this point. See, here's the difference. They broke Star Wars. They absolutely, positively broke it. They destroyed the characters of Luke, Han, and Leia for all time. There is no getting that back. With Star Trek, these characters are still here, okay? They exist. They are currently playing off of one another. They are loving one another and respecting one another, even when they fight. So there is that difference there, as far as the characters are concerned. And I'm just talking about how I perceive it, so how other people might perceive it is different. So like I said before, it's just a reminder, guys, because we are divided way too much. We fight way too much. And it just reminded me of the early days of the Fandom Menace before we lived to become the bad guys, when what we were fighting for was the freedom to not like what we don't like, and also to like what we like. Remember that, guys. We used to say that. If you like it, it's okay. All right? It seems that we've kind of forgotten that concept. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys. I am enjoying season 3 of Picard. Now, I'm enjoying it episode to episode. So if episode 7, 8, or whatever, I don't know how many episodes of this there are, if it's bad or it turns into dog shit, well, I'm going to call that too. You know what I mean? But you have to be honest. And, that's what our people come to us for, the ones who watch us. They depend on our honesty, even if they don't agree with it. We're all adults here, most of us. So that's what we should be respecting more than anything else. All right, guys. I just had to get that out there because, like I said, I've just been seeing a lot of that. I've been seeing people turn on people for liking this thing, people turning on people for not liking this thing. And, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out into it. So you guys can get into the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. Have you been watching Picard season 3? Okay. Don't deflect by bringing up the dog shit that was seasons 1 and 2. We all agree with that. I want to know if you've been watching season 3, in particularly from episode 3 on, what you think of it. Let me know. Get in the comment section. Thank you guys for listening. Catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.